What is going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurtyoy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are talking about the review. Now, it's been quite an eventful game week. Some surprises, notably Jose Mourinho getting it wrong again, and some really interesting scorelines. Spurs remained unbeaten, but that's all I've got to say about that, really. Man City won, Arsenal won, Chelsea won, and Liverpool won, all pretty convincingly, leaving the title race looking like it's still very much open. This is the review. Remember, I'm actually saying that I am not going to be doing a Monday show for the Dilemma Centre, but if you have any dilemmas or any questions, leave them in the comments on any video this week. I'll be advertising it at the start of every single video, just because I don't have time to do the Monday one. And let me know if it's a Monday, if you've got a game on Monday like the Stoke one was this week, if you want me to get the Dilemma Centre up on Monday and videos up on Monday, rather than waiting until the game week's ended for today. That being said, I've offered too much. Leave any dilemmas you've got in the comments down below. There will be a Friday video on Friday, unsurprisingly. But yeah, let's kick into things, starting off, as always, goalkeepers. And we're going to start off with the hero at Old Trafford, but for the wrong team. He started off Manchester United, obviously didn't finish his, career so far there. He's at Burnley, made 11 saves. It's Tom Heaton. Now, I want to point out, I put him in my preview, not because I thought he was going to get a clean sheet, because I thought Man United, just like they did against Stoke, are going to pepper that goal with shots. They are going to fight everything they've got it, and I believe Heaton has got it in him, and he's proved that this season, to get a whole load of saves, and that came true. And he also grabbed a clean sheet. I think without the clean sheet, he still would have been on some ridiculous scoreline, like 7 points, I believe. It is mental what we were seeing. But yeah, Tom Heaton definitely deserves it. Would I bring him in? Yes, I would, because he is a keeper that is potentially could be a mixture of safety and savety, and that is so key and so useful. I'd say 4.7 million is an absolute bargain. Then we've got Joel Robles at 7 points. Quickly go over this one. No, because he was in late for Stecklenburg, and I believe Stecklenburg is still going to be the first team keeper, so stay away from Robles. Courtois, I then put there in a 6 because, there's a lot of keepers on 6, and I put him in my preview, so there is that. Chelsea, I believe, are going to be stronger contenders for the title, as I said at the start of the season. Courtois, I'd say definitely bring in. The last one I want to put in there is Valdez, because that's his second, 6 point above game week in a row. But I feel like Middlesbrough have got a few tough games coming up, so I'd say stay away from him. Other goalkeepers, Bravo. Man City is still that that weird team that could concede, and Stones, surprisingly, got 7 points, didn't make a mistake this week, so they didn't actually concede a goal. David De Gea, he's Man United, I would stay away. And you've also got Gomez at 6 points. Again, Watford are just too, wishy-wafty. I'd say stay away from Gomez. Moving on to the defenders. Now, there are a lot of good scoring defenders this week. In fact, there was 9 point Prodal, 8 points for Azpilicueta, Blind and Britos, and then there were 7 points for 8 players. I could have done 2 different 6 player charts, as I show right next to me, whatever side it is. But that being said, start from the top. Prodal at 9 points. Basically, Watford's didn't do very well this game week. Although they got the win, and that is what's important, they got the win from an own goal against, arguably one of the worst teams in the league, Hull. And, it's bad that when you're playing at home to a team that likes to concede goals, if your defenders are getting, the bonus points, you've done something wrong. Saying that, we have got Daley Blind also on 8 points. Again, Daley Blind shouldn't be getting the bonus points. So, there's something, gone wrong in the Man United attack there. Pointing no fingers at Ibrahimovic. Sarcasm intended. But also Azpilicueta, it's worth noting, that he's picked up bonus points in several game weeks so far. And it's also worth noting this, that when Ivanovic came on in yesterday's game for Victor Moses, I assumed Azpilicueta would go out wide. He's more a fullback. But Azpilicueta stayed in the centre and Ivanovic went out wide. So it's interesting to know that Azpilicueta is preferred as a centre-back under Conte's system, unless he didn't want to change anything just in case. But that's interesting to see. So Azpilicueta is definitely worth it. There are still good options, for Chelsea's defence. I'll go with Marcus Alonso, because he's a little bit cheaper. Britos again, do I need to say any more? Points against Hull, it should be pretty much confirmed. And then we've got loads of 7 points. I had to pick 2 to fit up the 6. I'll go with John Stones, because he got a bonus point, but 4-0 against West Brom. Come on. And my second one I picked was Lovren, because I was so close to putting Lovren on my tip in against Crystal Palace. I thought there's a slight chance they could get a clean sheet, and I thought no, because they're such a threat from they look so open when it comes to corners and set plays. I think Crystal Palace must score them. At the end of the day, the headers were scored by them too, so come back to bite me. But Lovren's worth it, Matip's worth it. Look at other 7-point defenders. I'm going to look at my screen, rattle them off. Funes Mori, Everton only a 3rd out of 10 clean sheets. I'd say stay away for now. Same with Williams, Lovren and Matip. I'd say get Lovren in, if not Matip. Lovren's got up to 5 million now. You've got Stones, I already mentioned him. Darmian's an interesting one. For the next few game weeks, could be worth bringing him in at £5 million. Man United, they've got an okay set of fixtures, but Man United being Man United, they'll draw 0-0 in all 5 of them. Friend and Barragan also come in there. Middlesbrough have got really tough game weeks, so I'd say definitely stay away from them. Moving on to the midfielders, we've got a huge score. For a Man City midfielder, you think, oh, obviously, De Bruyne, David Silva, Sterling, Nolito, Sane. Well, no, Gundogan. And I want to address midfielders quickly, because on my preview, I said some decent looking midfielders. I thought, Walcott looked good at the time, he wasn't injured. Also, Sane and Stanislas. 3 midfielders didn't play, so as much as I got 2 good ones in Coutinho and Allen and Matic, who just got, there's a bit of a risk chucked in there. 3 midfielders didn't play, so that's kind of poor for me, but the risk you take doing a video this early. But yeah, hopefully I'll get a better starting rate this week. But Gundogan, I think he's well worth it if he continues like this, because he has already scored a goal in his first game, I believe. Against Bournemouth he scored one, and that's 2 4-0s he's really helped in. So see how much he contributes to goals in the next coming game weeks, and how much he contributes in play in general, and then see for the future. MacArthur's another one at £5 million, scored 2 goals against Liverpool. Notably, one of them was assisted pretty atrociously by Lovren. But MacArthur looks decent, £5 million. He's going to rise a bit if he has another good game week, so definitely worth bringing in for me if you're looking for that extra slot to free yourself up a bit of money. I think a lot of people have been doing that. We've got Hazard, who is a rejuvenated man for like the 3rd time this season. But under the new role, it means that he's got more freedom. He can attack when he wants. He sort of goes where he wants. And it makes it so hard for the defence that Hazard can be in his element. And I think it showed. I think I got rid of him, but he was going down in price. So I lost money on him. I also wanted to get other players in. Like, for a good example, Dimitri Payet. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But at the end of the day, I think it's a risk with Hazard, because you never know. He could go off the boil, but at the moment, he's shit hot. So go for him. Sanchez, another one, big high-priced midfielder who's not noted. Arsene Wenger says he's the first choice striker unless he's going to play Giroud up there with him, potentially going 2 up top, which is interesting to see how Giroud and Sanchez would work together. But obviously they did it against Sunderland. Sanchez is, I think, if you've got the money, midfielder playing up front, confirmed there for number 1 striker, definitely worth it. And then we had a few 10 points. I had to pick between the 4. I chose Barkley because he showed that he's got maturity, although he was left out in a few games. Showed one on Coman as well. He can definitely perform to the level he wants. And Joe Allen, because he's consistently performing, and long as he plays in that attacking role he is playing in, who knows what can happen. Also, Downing and Ramirez got 10 points, but I thought tough game is coming up, so I'd stay away from them. And now to rush through the attackers. So it's a weird bunch, the attackers this week. We're going to start off with a 16-point Aguero, who I was deliberating getting rid of because I wanted to get Sanchez in, further deep, or Hazard, and then also Coutinho, maybe another Liverpool midfielder. But I stuck with him, paid dividends. I didn't put him as my captain just in case I had another, good choice for my captain, which was Lukaku. I'll get onto him in a sec. But Aguero showed why he is Aguero. Why is he? He's the most expensive player on the game, because just like that, oh, what's that? You're criticising me? I'll bang in 2 goals when I want. Simples. Aguero is a monster, and you should definitely bring him into your team. Next up, we've got Wilfried Bony, who, hallelujah, has finally scored a goal. He actually scored 2 in the same game. I don't know what you're thinking. And of course, we should have seen it a mile off. He's coming up against his old team, Swansea. What game is he going to pick to start scoring? Of course it's going to be that one. Would I bring Wilfried Bony in? He's £7.3 million. He's only just scored his first 2 goals. Stay away until you know he's consistently performing, then take the risk on bringing him in. Next up, Olivier Giroud. It looks like he's going to be, pretty much like Nuhiu is Sheffield Wednesday. Chuck him on when you need something, so I'd say stay away from him. £8.8 million is well too expensive for someone that you only be used in dire circumstances. Lukaku comes in next, also on 12 points. Played a game, got a goal and assist. I think he should have had another goal, personally, because they had a penalty shout right at the end, and it should have been given. It was a Stonewall penalty, it wasn't given. Really frustrated. That cost me 8 points. So, nothing about that, but we move on. Lukaku is always a good bet no matter what team he's playing against, and he showed that, in the recent game against Manchester City and also West Ham. Then we've got two interesting ones. Vincent Janssen, who scored his first goal in the Premier League, I believe, I'm just going to check that now. Yes, it's his first goal in the Premier League from the penalty spot, worth noting, but maybe that'll give him confidence. I'd say stay away, because Harry Kane comes back. Yeah, he's going to be on the bench. And Musa, because that's 2 game weeks in a row now he's scored him, but the question is, where will he play? Who will he start off in front of? I think if he plays down the wing, maybe he can have, more game time, more chance to affect the game, but I'm just not sure, so I'd stay away from him personally. But that is that for this video. Hopefully you have enjoyed them. To like, comment, and subscribe. And I saw a comment or two about how fast I speak. I do apologise. Once I get going, I just go really fast. So if I am ineligible to some people, please let me know, and I will try and slow myself down. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to fit so much in. I don't want videos to go well overboard. Like this one, if I slow it down a bit and try to use less information, I'm still over the 10-minute mark. I want to try and hit that 10-minute mark bang on. But yeah, that being that, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Just like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully you had a good game week. If not, I do apologise, but peace.